Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Call to the bullpen. Call to the bullpen. Call to the bullpen.
Call to the bullpen, call to the bullpen, call to the bullpen.
Sid is breathing heavy into the mic, and I have no idea how that sounds, but hopefully we didn't scare any small children.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 26 of Call to the Bullpen.
No, this is 27.
Wow, that was
Jack off.
Whatever.
wow, 27. We've been doing this 27 times already.
Oh, no. Me and Jared have been doing this 27 times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
you
done at
have
least
been doing
20.
it. Yeah.
No way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're taking credit for our work, you
Right.
big phony. Hey, this guy's a
This
phony.
guy's next big fat phony.
You know
guy
who
in the Titleist hat.
Listen.
UFC. You even watch UFC, you phony?
I don't. I don't. I
You're a
used to watch
phony.
it as a kid, and to be
You're a
honest,
Phony.
I stopped watching it.
Hey, you
but
know who lives in
I
this
got
house?
a tag sale, actually. Thank you very much. It was quite the buy.
Paul McElmore, you clown. Let's go. Week 14 preview. Jaguars, Titans. Who do we got?
Next game.
This game sucks. The
All right,
Titans.
this game's getting 9-6. Nobody gives a crap. This is horrible.
Wasn't that
You're
the-
actually. I will take the under in your 9-6 game.
Wait, hold on.
Under 15.
Hold on. Wasn't that the score? Guys, wasn't that the score the first time they played? It was 9-6, wasn't it? Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch these football games, especially when you got teams like the Chiefs and the Rams and the. This.
The over on this game is 37.
Honestly, I might take the under.
You realize the Saints put up almost 37 points a game. The Chiefs put up more than 37 points every single game that they play football.
Yeah.
And the total for two different teams combined is 37.5 points.
Yeah, no, I understand.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
All right, this game sucks.
I have the Titans because
I have the Titans.
I
Jay
have
has the
never.
Titans.
I know the Jags won last week, but I'm never picking the Jags the rest of the season.
Yeah, they're bad.
That's a
Bad. And for those who missed the last couple weeks and like the 9,000 times that I've explained this, so I'll explain it again. We're doing a house pick every week. We're going to flip a coin. Whatever the house says, the house gets. And it's been wrong like crazy. So let's see what happens. Heads is away. Tails is home. It's going with the away team, taking the Jaguars. Yep. Wrong always. Let's see what happens. Maybe they'll be right.
What do you got, Jared?
Well, I'm taking the Titans in this game just because they got something to play for. They are definitely alive in the AFC playoff race at 6-6. Both these teams are at times play utterly miserable offensive football. Well, I'm going to say at times for Tennessee and pretty much all the time for Jacksonville. So this game's not going to be any fun, but these Thursday night games favor the home team. And like I said, Tennessee has more at stake. So I lean toward them, but I have to say I won't be shocked if this game turns out similarly to the Jags-Colts game with the Jags coming out on top because they've already lost to Tennessee once and they might want to avenge that. So,
You know what I'm going to be doing?
and what's that?
Washing my hair. I don't have a lot of hair, and I'm going to be washing it because that's a lot more important than watching a football game between two absolutely irrelevant football teams.
Yeah, this type of game that makes you call the NFL the no fun league.
That was really dumb.
Well, this game is really
But
dumb.
accurate. The Super Bowl is dumb. This stupid game is dumb.
Saints, Bucks. Who you got?
Saints.
Saints.
If you mean to tell me that it's gonna be like that kid, you know that meme with the kid who's like, yeah, so you're telling me if the Saints will be able, if they have a 10-game winning streak in this season, bookended apart from the Dallas game by 2 losses to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just what the F?
You know, it could happen too. That's the scary part.
You say it could happen, but the Saints have extra rest coming into this game, and they're off. They need a bounce back performance in this offense. Drew Brees hasn't had a huge game in a few weeks now. I feel like
Huge.
he's ready to go off.
Because he's ready to go off. All right.
Yeah, he's ready to go off. He's like,
you know why this game could be an upset? Because the house picked the Buccaneers.
They did beat him before, but
that's what I'm saying.
It just went dead silent for a second there.
I don't know, man. I feel like Drew Brees. He's like he's like a teenager on prom night. The way he's getting ready to unleash on this team.
Gross.
Please
gross
don't
images.
Ever say that again.
Gross images going through my mind.
Teenage Drew Brees.
Everything that you stand for, which is not a lot.
Saints will win by 20. If they don't, they're gonna lose. If it's less than 20, they lose.
I agree.
Very good. Moving on. Panthers, Browns. Jared, you have the Panthers. Me and Chase have the Browns. You take the reins here for a minute.
Yeah, I just think the Browns they're fun to cheer for, but they're still a raw team. They're inconsistent. I feel like the Panthers they need to get back on track. Now their playoff hopes are really in jeopardy, and this is just a game you have to rise to the occasion. I know that it's in Cleveland, and the Panthers are used to playing in a bit of a warmer environment, but I just think that they're finally going to show up. They've lost 4 games in a row. I think this is the wake-up call.
No.
They still might
No.
make 5 losses in a row. You think they're that bad?
No. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put Cam Newton and Ron Rivera on the ship, and the ship is going to be sinking, and instead of getting buckets of water to try to save the ship, they're just going to go down and salute, because that's what they deserve.
Buckets of water wouldn't help us sinking.
No, like to get the water out, bucketing it out.
Bucketing it out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bailing is the word you're looking for.
That is the word. I'm not a sailor, Austin, all right?
A sailor.
No, Panthers. No, you can't. I can't pick a team that can't win against the goddamn. Who they lost to the Bucks, lost to the Falcons. They haven't won a game. They haven't won a game in over a month. No thanks.
Listen, you got to
take the
remember
Browns.
that the Browns are still like 4-7-1 here. We know the Panthers.
They're at home.
And I'm more excited to watch them
Panthers
play.
suck.
No, I
literally.
am too, but I just think the Panthers they're going to win this game. Let's not forget McCaffrey is still McCaffrey. He can, in the Browns defense, you can score on them. The Texans didn't have a hard time doing that. I think the Panthers, they still move the ball. They'll win.
Browns by 7.
Okay. Could happen.
House says Browns. Ah.
I love it.
Jared, you suck.
We'll see.
Here we go. Another Giants rant from Jared. Giants and Redskins.
Oh, no. Before Jared goes off, I'm going to set him off first.
Okay.
Mark Sanchez is going to lead the
I
Washington
hate you.
Redcoats
Shut your mouth.
to
Shut your
victory.
mouth. You're coming off stupid.
And it's back of Adrian Peterson and 150 yards passing. 14-10, Redskins win.
Listen, guys. I don't remember if there's been. I don't think there's been a time in my lifetime as a Giants fan that they've gotten season swept by the Washington Redskins. I can't remember the last time that's happened. And the Giants have been playing. They've been playing.
Jared.
What?
There's a first for everything.
No, it's not happening. The Giants they've been a different team since the bye. They should have beaten Philadelphia, so they should have had 4 wins in a row. They still won 3 of 4. They just beat the Chicago Bears. I mean, they're playing much more complete football again with this offensive line. The reparations with Jamon Brown. They're running the ball effectively. Eli is having more success throwing it. The defense, there's definitely some gaps as far as running lanes go, but I mean, Mark Sanchez isn't good enough to put up the points. The way the Giants' offense has finally found a rhythm, they're now in a place where you're expecting them to put up in the mid-20s or more every week. So I don't think the Redskins are good enough to equal that with Mark Sanchez as their quarterback. Plain and simple.
Mark Sanchez sucks, and that's why the Giants are winning this football game.
Boom.
And that's my analysis.
Cool.
The house says the Giants.
That's right.
This is very simple.
You know what
Very
that
simple.
means. Skins are taking it home.
Exactly, because the house literally is stupid.
Not always.
Pretty stupid. We're going to move on to a game that is also between two extremely awful teams.
They didn't used to be awful. Back
They
in
didn't
the
used to be
day.
awful. Back when I remember.
Back in 2016, these two teams were
You know
some of the
who
best.
remembers when the Falcons and the Packers were a good football team?
Who remembers?
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Pepperidge
Farms.
This was the
Farms remembers.
guys. They weren't just good. 2 years ago, this was the NFC Championship game. Remember?
And now this game is literally worthless. This game means nothing.
This game,
and it doesn't matter. And the Packers, who can't beat a Pee-wee football team, are
True.
favored by 6 points against the Falcons.
Yep. And that's why I'm picking the Falcons.
I don't even know what to do here, but I'm going with the Falcons too, and I have no idea why, because the Falcons suck and the Packers suck.
Here's my diagnosis of this.
Both of these teams
Normally
are so
you would be
bad.
like,
The
oh,
Falcons
it's,
can't score.
no, listen. You'd be like, normally it's at Lambeau. Oh, yeah, so it's got to be the Packers. Well, they just lost to the Cardinals at home. And then you go, oh, well, the Falcons suck. Usually they've been sucking all year. Oh, well, usually when the Falcons suck, they usually come back and play really good away. Oh, the Falcons are a dome team. Well, that didn't matter for the Cardinals last week. It's just... Then you take in a new system or a new coach. I don't know if they're going to do a new system. They're probably just going to have Aaron Rodgers call the plays at the line of scrimmage.
Aaron Rodgers is literally the head coach of the Packers at this point.
Yeah.
He's calling every offensive and defensive play.
I don't even know if they named
He
an
is
interim
both
head coach yet.
coordinators. He's going to kick the ball. He's going to return kickoffs. He is the head coach. He's the GM. He's going to own the team, and he's going to throw the football.
So, yeah, this is a perfect
This is just
recipe
a mess,
for a
man.
Falcons upset
You
here.
know what makes me so angry? Is this could be like a highlight game of the year Sunday night football game than this year. Like if this was any year other than where it is right now, you talk about Falcons at the Packers, and that's like, holy crap, that game sounds incredible. But it's an irrelevant 1 p.m. game between two teams that literally don't matter right now.
Poopy.
Poopy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You guys summed it up well with how these teams have disappointed heavily in 2018, but I still feel very comfortable taking Green Bay, even though it's like, oh yeah, the home field advantage didn't matter. They still lost to Arizona, and so why can't they lose to the Falcons, who are a more formidable opponent? They've got more ways to hurt you on offense for sure. But I think that, again, it was just a case of the team dogging it to get rid of McCarthy, and I think that the Falcons have proven, even when they've been good, they're so bad in cold weather, and now they're a poor team coming up in these conditions. The Packers losing back-to-back home games. I think that, without McCarthy, without that hanging over their head, with allowing Rodgers to kind of take the reins maybe more, maybe he's felt stifled by the play calling, I think the Packers are going to have a little bit of life here. I think they might win by a lot, honestly, just because that's the way it gets for Atlanta when they get down on the road. It's hard to come back from it. So these are still the Packers. They still had that big comeback against the Bears. They still almost beat the Rams, and they might have been one Ty Montgomery gaffe away from pulling off that upset. They went to a tie with the Vikings. They have a poor record. They played the Patriots fairly close for the most part. They have a poor record this year, but they're not an abysmal team. I still think they're a significantly better team than the Falcons are at this point.
Both of these teams are terrible
And irrelevant.
and irrelevant, and the house says Green Bay.
Yep. Because they're going to win.
Yes, they are. I'm joking. They're not, because both of these teams suck. Jets and the Bills. Jared, you got the Jets. We got the Bills. Why do you have the Jets?
Okay, so, all right, look, the Bills, they've probably been playing harder than the Jets this year. They've been playing with a little bit more effort, a little bit more cohesion, a little bit more consistency on defense. But the Jets, I still think that there is some talent in this group. The way they fought again on the road against Tennessee shows me that there's something inside this bad team. They're not the worst team ever. And I don't think that they're going to end this season on a 10-game losing streak. And I'm looking at the
I
rest.
100% think they're going to end this game.
Listen. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. But what I am saying is I'm looking at their schedule. This is their best chance to get a win, to get another win, to finish 4-12. I think it's going to come this week. They'll end the skid. They'll at least be able to, end that horrible losing streak. But that's all they'll get. I don't think this is not going to be a good game. But here's the thing. You've got two bad teams playing each other twice in one season. Odds are pretty good that they're going to split them. The Bills won the first one. It's time for the Jets to win.
The Jets are terrible. They're going to end the year on a 10-game losing streak. They're at the Bills. The Bills are going to beat them because the Bills suck and the Jets suck and the Bills are just going to win. Then they're playing the Texans, the Packers, and the Patriots.
That's what I'm saying. So
they're not going to win any game. And I have zero faith in the Jets beating the Bills. And actually, the Bills, which I don't even really know why.
You want to rethink that? Zero faith that they can beat another bad team that's 4-8? Is that really unheard of?
I concur. I think the Bills are going to beat them by 20. Didn't they already beat them by 20?
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, yeah, did. They did.
And Sam Darnold's coming back, and Sam Darnold has been actually thrown, or has been, that's not proper English language, has thrown more interceptions than Josh McCown. So, yeah, if Sam Darnold comes back, I don't feel too confident.
Both these teams they're
Bills
both
already.
So this is actually...
I know. I'm saying I don't feel confident.
So you're agreeing with the Bills?
Oh, 100%. They might, like I said, they probably win by 20.
Why did the Bills get rid of Kelvin Benjamin? Does anybody know that?
Because he sucks.
He was great.
He was horrible.
Well, I mean, like, on the Panthers.
He was good on the Panthers in 2014. He's been terrible.
It's a good move. They just dumped him, man.
He's slow. He's fat. He's tall and doesn't catch. Doesn't sound like a good wide receiver to me.
That's great. It is worth noting, guys, before we move on, that this game really doesn't matter all that much, but we are finally going to get to see that rookie matchup of Josh Allen versus Sam Darnold, because if you remember correctly, last time it was McCown versus Matt Barkley. So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, hey, that's another reason. No more Barkley. You ain't putting up that 41 points again.
It's a shame. We only get like 100 games or something like that combined with all the teams. And one of those 100 games had to be Matt Barkley versus Josh McCown. Oh, Lord.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, so Jared's taking the Jets. Myself and Chase are taking the Bills. And the house wants to agree with Jared and take the Jets.
This
the
is
house
my
is
house.
It's my house, technically. Patriots at the Dolphins, a game that really shouldn't matter because the Patriots should win this. However, for some ungodly reason, the 7.5 point favorite Patriots always like to lose at home. On the road to the Dolphins.
Yep, and for that reason, I am changing my pick to the Miami Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill, also the godsend to the Miami Dolphins quarterbacking crew. Now, this is gonna be that weird game that everybody's like, oh, the Patriots suck, and then the Patriots are going to lose this game, and then they're going to go and win out and be 12-4. This is it. This is the game that they lose, guaranteed. Lock it up. Chase's lock of the week. Go put $100 on the Dolphins plus 7.5.
You know something? You are my kind of guy. You've convinced me. I am also overturning. I'm overturning my prediction because you're right. You're right. The Dolphins, they always play the Patriots pretty well at home. In Miami versus in Foxborough, it's like night and day. And here's the thing. Everything is at stake for Miami in this game. Their playoff hopes ride on win or lose in this game. That determines if they have any hope of playing in January. So I think they will blow it. But it's not going to be this week. It's going to be the following week or the week after that. This week, they're going to get up for it. And I'm looking at the Patriots' schedule. It's either going to be this game or the Pittsburgh game, their fourth loss, I think, this year. The more I think about it, they're probably going to wind up beating the Steelers, and they're going to lose this game. So let's go Miami. Let's get it.
I like it. You're thinking like I'm thinking.
I'm not thinking like either of you are thinking. I'm thinking like the Patriots are going to beat the Dolphins. It ain't going to be by much. Maybe a touchdown, max. It's going to be a closer game than everybody expects, but absolutely no way the Dolphins win this football game.
There's a way.
There's just no. There was no way.
So they
No
said
way.
last year.
No way.
And the
No
year
way,
before.
man. No way. Tom Brady ain't gonna let it happen. You know who doesn't agree with me? The house.
The house.
The house is going on the Dolphins.
You know what? They also said that there was no way that the United States men's Olympic hockey team was going to beat the Russians in the 1980 Winter Olympics at Lake Placid. But what happened? They won! And the Miami Dolphins are going to beat the New England Patriots.
And history was made.
Exactly.
You make me angry.
And history will be made this Sunday.
This Sunday night at
God,
WWE Super Slam, John Cena.
All right. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the Ravens and the Chiefs.
I like this game a lot.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really good football game.
The Ravens defense proves to be as good as everybody says they are, and Lamar Jackson doesn't turn the ball over, this game is going to be close. But I also see a narrative where the Chiefs get out in front early and the Ravens don't have the firepower to come back. Really, their offense was run through Lamar Jackson being able to run that QB option and other sorts of gimmicky, gadgety plays like that. And you're not going to be able to come back down 20 points running those type of plays. So if they force Lamar Jackson to throw the ball 25, 30 times, I think that the Chiefs got this one in the bag. But I could see it changing. However, I am going to take the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like this is definitely a situation where you can find yourself down on the road in a hurry against one of the NFL's elite offenses, thus forcing the playbook to change a little bit for the Ravens. All of a sudden, all those running plays are going to kind of go out the window because you're playing from behind, playing catch up. And this is a game that's going to test Lamar's mettle as far as his QB fundamentals. I don't think they're all the way there yet. I certainly don't think they're as developed as what Patrick Mahomes has shown this season. So I think that this could be a game where the Chiefs kind of wind up running away with it. I could see them winning by 2 scores when all is said and done, honestly. Just because, yeah, the Ravens do have a quality defense, but the Chiefs, they haven't been stopped all season, so why would they be stopped now?
Yeah, their defense sucks, so the Ravens can totally score on it. So
yeah,
gonna be closer. Might honestly be a pretty high scoring game from both sides. Somewhere in the 30 to 33 or 37 to 34 kind of range, something like that. But it should be interesting to say the least. I still see the Chiefs pulling this one out. I don't think they're going to lose to the Ravens at home at Arrowhead, and the house agrees with us. They're going on the Chiefs.
Yeah, I could see this being like a 34-21 type deal.
Yep. Colts at the Texans. I'm just going to go ahead and say I have the Texans, and do you know why?
Because the Texans got to win out?
Yep.
Nah.
Blasphemy!
Texans lose at home to the Colts. Want to know why? Because it makes no sense. The Colts just lost to the Jaguars.
No. Not only did they lose to the Jaguars, it's not like they put up 24 points and they lost on a last-minute field goal. They got skunked.
They get skunked by the Jags.
0.
And now you think, they're gone to the 9-3 Texans. They're going to lose again. But Andrew Luck says differently. Andrew Luck and the Colts and the Texans winning streak. You heard it here first.
Absolutely not. 0 chance. Other than the house agreeing with Chase.
I'm not going to say 0 chance. It's not 0 chance. I am going with Houston here because they haven't lost yet, so why now, right? I don't know. I mean, that Jaguars game was eye-opening. I think it was an anomaly based on the way this offense has been playing, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the Texans are a lot more multiple on offense compared to the Colts, and I think the home field advantage is going to come into play here. I think it's a huge factor. If this game was in Indy, I would feel kind of nervous about picking Houston here, but I'm comfortable going with them. I think that it's going to be tough. I think that Andrew Luck is going to play like the Colts season is on the line, but I think at the end of the day, they might just be this year that team that got hot and got on a little bit of a run. but now they've come back down to earth a little bit. I think that shutout might have demoralized them a little bit, and now you have to face a second consecutive divisional road game. It's not easy. So I think the Texans win.
I know the Texans win because the Texans got to win out. We're moving on to the Broncos at the 49ers. Broncos are winning this game, even though it's in San Francisco, because the 49ers are terrible, and the Broncos are making a playoff push.
And you want to know why, Austin? You want to know why I said the Colts are going to win? Because there's only one team that's going to win out this season.
Oh, God.
BRONCOS.
You're just
Gosh.
terrible. You're the
And
worst.
you can't teach that.
Yes, Jared loves it.
I don't agree that the Broncos are going to be the one team to win out because the Texans still got to win out. I'm still on that horse. Sorry, no offense to your horse, but the Broncos. I mean, at this, I'm buying what they're selling. Defensively, they're there. And, I mean, if they are going to blow it, it's certainly not going to come against the 49ers, who are absolutely playing for next season at this point. So they've packed it in. They're just going to get killed every week. And Philip Lindsay's licking his chops. Even Case Keenum might have an okay day throwing it. It's going to be all Broncos all the time.
All Broncos all day, baby.
Yes, sir. Other than the house who says 49ers.
This house is
just
not
unreal.
a place I want to stay
This
in.
house is a prison on planet
Bullshit.
I didn't hear it.
Throw up the parental advisory sticker.
Yeah, we're explicit. It's all right. Have
Sure,
some
yeah. This is the R-rated Call the Bullpen After Dark.
Oh yeah.
Bengals, Chargers. You know why the Bengals are going to lose? Because they're terrible.
Because they're
and they have
dog
no
crap.
one. Andy Dalton, gone. AJ Green, gone. Is Joe Mixon even playing in this game?
He is, but he's the next superstar to fall.
Correct. The whole Bengals team is awful.
Fuck the
And the
Bengals.
Chargers are
They're
actually
not,
legit.
they're not awful. They're just
They're injury ridden.
injured,
and
yeah.
because they're injury ridden,
they're awful.
they're awful.
I see what you did there.
So the Chargers are going to win this game by 21 points. And that's what I got.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if you heard me, but yeah, just fuck the Bengals and everything they've become. I mean, did we really think this team was going to be good at the start of the season? Look, they're mediocre or bad like almost every year, and we can just look back on it now like, okay, they're going to finish the season with a handful of wins, and those handful of wins just happen to come close together at the start of the season. Now it's December, they have all these injuries, and they stink. They're at the bottom of the league. They are. Especially with these injuries, they are a bottom feeder, like maybe bottom 5 team.
Yeah, there's not much here to say. I'll be honest.
The Chargers
Chargers are red hot. They just beat the Steelers at home. They're gonna get a weak, battered Bengals team. Hopefully Melvin Gordon comes back because I need him for my fantasy team. There is that to say.
You're going down, and I'm going to win.
I'm not playing you this week.
I know, but I'm going to win the league.
And it's worth
I'm playing
noting-
Jared. Jared, I'm playing you.
Yeah. Well. Hey, I'm feeling actually okay because Keenan Allen's been heating up lately. He was a huge bust most of the season in fantasy because he just wasn't getting in the end zone. But the last few weeks, he's actually been playing really, really terrific football. So if him and Rivers can link up, I mean, that could be one of those quarterback wide receiver combinations to watch out for. I mean, it's been that way, but I'm just saying, like, going forward into the postseason. So the Chargers, this is the best season that they've had in a while. So it's going to continue.
Want to know another terrible football game?
Who? What? Where? When? Why?
Lions at Cardinals.
Yucky.
Yucky.
All right, I'll take the reins here, I guess. Cardinals got their win. They're not going to get another big win. I wouldn't say beating the Lions is a big win, but I think the Lions have enough to take care of the Cardinals on the road. Hopefully, Matt Stafford figures it out. The Cardinals do have a tough pass defense, so if the Lions don't have Kerryon Johnson, it will be tough. They'll have to rely on the ever-aging LeGarrette Blount. But I still think the Lions have enough to take care of business.
I agree. They've actually, their front seven's okay. I mean, their offensive line has been awful this season, and they really lack the weapons in the receiving game. But I think defensively, they could give Rosen a tough time with Snacks and Kennard, some of the other guys up there in the rush. So, the Lions, they're bad, but they're not as bad as the Cardinals. They'll win this game. It's just who cares? Really, who cares? I don't want to watch this.
They always should cut down half the NFL games after week 10.
Yeah,
can they just flip a coin and decide the winner that way?
Yeah.
You know who does flip a coin and decide the winner? We do.
We
do. You know who the winner of this football game is? The Cardinals.
It's almost like it wants to pick the opposite of us every time.
They might win.
Single time.
This game means absolutely nothing except draft positioning. That's
all right.
Literally it.
From now on, I'm flipping a nickel. This quarter sucks.
No, you have to keep flipping a quarter for this episode.
Flipping a nickel.
No, for this episode, you have to keep it fair.
Oh,
you have to. He's right.
Stupid.
We need a level play.
Next up, we got the Eagles at the Cowboys. Cowboys!
Eagles are winning this football game.
Why?
Because the house says so.
Why are you saying so?
I'm not. I'm switching it to the Cowboys. I thought about the Eagles earlier. I couldn't really pick, honestly, but the Cowboys are actually just looking a lot better right now. Dak's playing better than he was to start the season. Ezekiel Elliott just hasn't been able to be stopped. The last couple weeks, he's been running all over everybody. Amari Cooper's broken out as a primary receiver and a key wideout on that offense. Their defense is looking great. Their pass rush, like you said a couple days ago in our last episode, Chase, has been absolutely unreal. I mean, they've just been demolishing every offensive line that they've been facing. So I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. The house is taking the Eagles, though.
You know what?
I agree with everything that you said.
Oh, Chase, you anything more to add?
I think the only thing I would add is that Golden Tate kind of had a breakout game for the Eagles last week. So if Golden Tate and Alshon Jeffrey can get on terms with Carson Wentz, their passing offense actually looks somewhat intimidating against a pretty weak Cowboys secondary. However, it just hasn't been a really good season for Alshon Jeffrey or Carson Wentz. So, I mean, last year I would take the Eagles. This year I'm taking the Cowboys.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about this game actually, because originally I was very ho hum on this game. Obviously, as a Giants fan, you're seeing your two biggest rivals duke it out for essentially. They're both battling for the division championship at this point, so that's disheartening to see. But more to think about, the Cowboys won the first meeting in Philly, so naturally you would think, oh well, they're playing at home now, and the Cowboys have extra rest, and they have the winning streak, so naturally they should win this week too. The more I think about it, even though Philly is really depleted and they haven't looked good this year, and they haven't looked good against the really good teams, I feel like it feels right that they would split these games with the Cowboys. They have won in Dallas before, and although the Eagles have these injuries in the secondary, Dak doesn't do damage in the secondary. He's not good throwing the deep ball. I don't think that he's good enough to exploit their weaknesses. Even though, now he's got Cooper to throw to, he's not as accurate throwing the long ball, so I don't think that's going to be as big of a factor as it was when the Eagles played the Giants or anyone else. Also, I'm glad you mentioned the Cowboys being weak in the secondary, because I think Carson Wentz, conversely, does have the potential to exploit the Cowboys' weaknesses in the secondary, throwing the ball downfield to Jeffrey and Tate, and they can do a lot of their damage back there, as opposed to up front where the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to create some problems with their pass rush, and I think the Eagles can still do some damage up front on their end. I think they're going to edge this one out. I have a feeling like they know they have the Rams and Texans games coming up, so they know they got to have this one. The Cowboys have a little bit more of a cushion. I think Philly wins.
Still taking the Cowboys in this one. I don't disagree with you there, but yeah, taking the Cowboys. House takes the Eagles. Moving on to Steelers Raiders. We all have the Steelers across the board, other than the House, who decided to take the Raiders, of course, because they've literally disagreed with us on almost every single game this week.
Where's this game?
Oakland.
It's a long trip for Pittsburgh, and they don't have.
Oh, get out of here, man!
I can't believe you even brought that to the table here.
Listen. All I'm gonna say, the only thing I'm going to say is the Steelers don't have James Conner, and I'm not. All I'm going to say is the Steelers might take a little while to get going in this game. Don't be surprised if the Raiders are winning at the end of the first quarter. That's all I'm gonna say. They'll get it right.
I can understand that, yes. I will be shocked, and then I will put the gravestone over Pittsburgh if they lose this game, because they're not making the playoffs if they lose this game.
Oh, I agree with you. By the end of it, it'll go their way. They'll win by multiple scores. I fully expect that. I'm just saying that if people are saying in the second quarter, oh man, why is the score only 10-7? That'll be why.
You know who's not taking the Steelers in this game because they are also so poopy? The House, because the House is taking the freaking plus 10.5 Raiders.
That should be plus 14.
I want to throw this quarter out a window. Is that okay? Anybody?
You can do it after the episode. After.
I'll throw the quarter out the window after the episode.
Bad, Austin. Bad.
Screw this quarter. This quarter sucks. Rams at Bears. Jared, you got the Rams. Me and Chase B got the Bears.
Yeah,
buddy.
I mean, I'm not. I think that the Giants. I think the Bears were due for. They were due for a come down game, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad team or anything like that. It's just that they just weren't the type of team that was going to run the table and enter the playoffs on a 10-game winning streak or anything like that. I just don't think they're that type of team. But I think it showed that if you can take the hits and roll with the punches, you can move the ball against their defense. They are not an impossible to score against unit. And I don't want to hear that they were on the road, because that was their type of environment, cold and muggy and conditions not ideal. That should be their type of football. I think that the Rams, if they're able to take those hits, roll with the punches, they can string together drives against the Bears defense. Goff is gonna get hit. You're not gonna be able to avoid that against this vaunted pass rush, and the secondary is really great too. Bears are a great defense, but I think that I just, even if Trubisky comes back, I don't have the confidence in them to outscore the Rams at this point the way they've been playing. And I know the Lions were actually able to slow them for a little bit, but for the most part, the Rams have been a juggernaut this season, all year long. And I think that they have the potential to make big plays on defense themselves. This is a little bit easier of an offensive matchup for them to handle than they've seen this year. And yeah, I think they're going to win. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a different kind of game than they're used to, but they're going to win.
The Rams are not going 15-1.
Why not?
I don't think they're good enough. I don't think that they are better than the, Colts the year that Peyton lost the Super Bowl. And I don't think that they're better than the Patriots one of the 1,000 years that they won the Super Bowl. I think that they lose this game. It's in Chicago. It's going to be cold. It's December. Mitch Trubisky is going to be coming back from a 2-game break. I think that this is a recipe for the Bears to win. Khalil Mack's going to be running Jared Goff. Like I said on the previous episode, Jared Goff has been struggling. I really like the Bears this week. I really like them.
The Bears defense is, granted they get these last week. The Bears defense has looked very these couple weeks, and their offense has been putting up points. And the defense is not the greatest shutdown defense. They're not going to hold you to 3 points, 6 points, 9 points. The Bears are going to have an opportunity to score some points here. And even though Aaron Donald is going to get the quarterback here, Khalil Mack also is, and Khalil Mack has the opportunity and the ability to completely change a game. And if he can get to Jared Goff and put some pressure on him, I see the Bears potentially squeaking this one out. I'm not saying it's a shoo-in for a win. I'm not saying there's no way the Rams lose this, or there's no way the Rams. Yeah, what am I saying? The Bears win. I don't know. I can't even speak. There's no way whatever. The Bears are going to win, and it's not going to be by a lot. There's definitely a chance that the Rams will pull this one off, I think is where I was trying to go with that. But Khalil Mack could totally change this game, and the Bears have an opportunity to pull this one out.
Well, they got the opportunity. It's going to be a great game. I mean, like, it's a potential playoff preview. It's a game to get excited about, that's for sure. But, yeah, I mean, I just got a feeling that the Rams are the more complete team. And honestly, Chase, I do think they're going 15-1.
Ooh, I'll bet you.
Wheel of punishment?
Uh-oh. Wheel of punishment.
Sounds like it.
I'll wheel punishment that they do not go 15-1.
Okay, I wheel that they do.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. We're going to do a wheel of punishment for the Rams going 15-1 or not. So we'll have to wait a few weeks for that one, and when that happens,
we won't have to wait a few weeks.
Well, that's true. It could be this week. I didn't really think about that. Well, technically, if they win, then you'd have to wait another week and then another
Correct,
week.
But the Bears are going to win.
It could be Sunday, but since the Bears are going to win, and you know who agrees that the Bears are going to win, Jared?
The nickel.
The nickel does, because I threw that quarter out.
What? You're cheating!
I'm kidding. It's the same quarter, and they chose the Bears because the Rams are going to lose.
Lame.
Vikings, Seahawks. Seahawks beat the Vikings because the Vikings are not as good as the teams everybody thought they were to start the season, and the Seahawks are very good and are going to make the playoffs.
Hot take right there.
I got to pee.
Chase?
I agree with Austin. He didn't really elaborate, but Seahawks are home here. They have been on a very, very nice run. They've been lucky to have pretty much three backs in the backfield that they can rely on any given play to run the ball. And that offense is basically all about ground and pound. So you got three running backs that you can rely on to get you yardage. And then you got Russell Wilson, who makes plays down the stretch. Even when they're behind, you think, oh, a running team can't make a comeback. Russell Wilson has been throwing 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter at ease. So I think that the Seahawks have got the make for a really good run here for possibly a NFC championship run, in my opinion.
Well, the Seahawks are definitely building momentum. They're overachieving this year compared to where everybody thought they'd be at the beginning of the season. And all signs here point to a Seattle win. Without question, you know, the smart money's on Seattle. I mean, it's the second straight road game for the Vikings, and it's a long trip for them. It's a very tough place to play. And they've struggled in cold weather away from home, all these things. And Kirk Cousins hasn't really gotten up for most of the big games. But I'm going with the Vikings here. I just think that they are too talented of a team to keep losing these big games. They have, at this point, they've had so much big game experience that I think that finally they're going to learn. They're going to learn to rise to the occasion. I think that finally Cousins is going to show up in prime time. I think that they realize that their playoff hopes could be in jeopardy if they lose this game and go to 6-1. So I still feel like the Vikings at their best, when they play at their best, which it hasn't been all the time, they're a very inconsistent team. But when they are at their best, they're, I think, an elite level NFC team. And I think that they're more complete on both sides of the ball than Seattle is. And I think that they're gonna get it done. It's not gonna be easy. And again, smart money's on Seattle here. But I just feel like Cousins, Thielen, Diggs, they got to make the magic happen at some point. And they're too good to not make it happen.
All right, and with the house pick,
the house says Vikings.
That'll be our last game for this week's preview
of the Week 14 NFL season.
Why don't you go ahead and give us our little tagline that you're so good at doing, because I can't do it.
As always, we are called to the bullpen, and make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
You fucked it up.
I messed it up. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We can also be listened to on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Libsyn, and Stitcher. I think that's the only 3 social media sites. Maybe I should make a Snapchat. No, that's never happening.
Do not do that.
Absolutely not. So those are the 3 places you can follow us. You can get our updates at. We post about the NFL and MLB, some other football headlines, things like that, and links of where you can listen to us if you're not listening to us already. Which, if you're hearing this, you are listening to us. There are other places you can listen to us, and when you do, subscribe, share, follow, whatever you can do on whatever place you're listening. If you're on iTunes, you can also give us a rating. If you give us a rating, please make it 5 stars. If it's not 5, tell us why. 5 stars, make it 5 stars. Man, I should be a spokesperson for someone like Call to the Bullpen podcast.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Jared, any final words?
All I've got to say is that this has been Call to the Bullpen.
And we are
Hanging up.
good night, folks.